Creative Comics with old men. Because or the old man. Because I guess I'm the only old man here. We tried to get on, and Facebook wasn't letting us on, so we had to like do crazy Facebook stuff. But we're on, we're live, yay! Welcome back. So, anywho, I'm here with my interns, Dev and Ringo. Say hi, guys.
Hello.
Ringo, you gonna say hi?
Did I not say hi? I thought so.
I didn't hear you. Did you say it at the same time as Dev?
I think so.
I didn't hear anything either.
I'm gonna hold my speaker close.
Yeah, hold it. All right, we don't have any sponsors this stream. Anywho, we're back from Denver, and I apologize. We were going to do the live stream on Tuesday, and then my son came into town, and I just dropped Dev and Ringo on their heads, and you, my faithful audience, to spend time with my son. I think that's a worthy cause, though, don't you? Especially as much as he's in the Navy, so I don't get to ever see him. I told Ringo before we started, I think I've spent 4 days with him in the past 2 years. So, anywho, that's way too little. But anyway, so we went to Denver, and so I'm going to show off some of my commissions from Denver. This is my favorite one, the one that we're looking at now. It's Amber Heard and Johnny Depp on an Aquaman sketch cover. And Amber is reprising her role as Mira, and Johnny Depp is reprising his role as Captain Jack Sparrow, but he's underwater drowning, so... Because the sketch cover's blue. So it looks like everything's underwater. Anyway, not trying to make a message here, just trying to be funny. And this was for John Garnett. Sorry, I almost messed that up. From Hall of Justice Comics and Collectibles in Denver, Colorado. Amazing person. We did a panel together. I've never been to his store, but we talked about me coming out doing a signing. So hopefully that'll happen. Anyway, if you're in Denver, Colorado, make sure you go visit John Garrett and the crew at Hall of Justice, and tell them Chad sent you. Anywho, so that's that was that commission, and then I gotta go backwards. I did a combo commission here, Ivy and Harley, where I penciled and inked it, and then Alex Sinclair colored it with Copic. That turned out pretty dope. So that's what you're seeing right here. I did a Cassandra Cain from Mortal Kombat, from the Nerd podcast, and which I was also on. Did a podcast while I was in Denver. That was a lot of fun. We talked about comics and comics movies and why DC movies don't have the same coordination as the Marvel movies. Anyway, good time in Colorado. Had to have broken records, just like MegaCon. As a matter of fact, I think we actually made as much in Colorado as we did at MegaCon, which is surprising. Anyway, good show. This is the best I could do for. Oh my gosh, guys, help me out! Star of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Curry. What's his first name?
Tim Curry.
Tim! Oh my gosh. Now, before anyone laughs, this is going to happen to you the older you get. Anyway, this is the best I could do for Tim Curry, but it looks like half Tim Curry, half new Pennywise. Jeez and crackers, folks. Okay, Chad's in top form. Anyway, it was a fun one. He's holding two hearts. Once again, that was a request by the commissioner, and I have no idea what it means. But people ask for it, I give it to them. I thought it turned out pretty well, though. Pretty nice. And then here's a Wonder Woman, and then I've already posted this Harley pencil head sketch up to Green Curry. JD Smith's already on the chat, busting my stuff, and then Mecha Jared's also on. Welcome, guys. Anyway,
We also have
we have who? Oh,
Cat.
yay! Sarah's on. I'm sorry, Cat Straws. I'm getting old. I need someone to constantly watch me, make sure I don't wander into the street. And then this last commission of Wonder Woman, which I thought turned out pretty nice. All of these are like quick head sketches, except for the Harley and the full body Cassandra. But so I try to do as best as I can with that short amount of time. But it was a great show. I'm trying to finish up all my commissions. I only have 2 left. I have a Chewbacca and a Godzilla and Zatanna combined commission. So today I thought it'd be fun if we finished up at least the digital pencils for Godzilla. We're going to do the same thing that we did for Dazzler, where we do it digitally and then we'll transfer it to paper. So I've started Godzilla here, but I haven't started Zatanna. But the challenge is to do a commission because he wants both characters. Like, how do I get them to like interact? And you don't just want to have like a side by side, because Zatanna would be about the size of a piece of rice compared to a full body Godzilla. Anyway, that's what we're drawing today. So, or should I show the progress on Death Watch real quick? I should.
Good plan.
Yeah, we should definitely. So, last live stream we were doing the layouts. Here's how it turned out. I'm really happy with the way the page looks. I'm trying to. I've created some quote unquote disciplines for when I ink / pencil when I do these. I set my brush size to what is happening here? Let's see in the chat. Let's see. No, make Mecha Jared wear. I'm gonna make Mecha Jared wear. Jared understands. Jared is a good friend. I'm getting all these weird notifications. We would have started on time today, except for Facebook was being grouchy. Look at those brick lines. Yeah, there we go. I'm trying to be minimalistic. I'm trying not to fill in every detail, because remember, like, this is how big it's going to look on the page. But when you're penciling it, especially when you're penciling digitally, a lot of artists basically put in too much information. So I'm trying to keep like the same level of detail as I would if I was doing it traditionally. So if I have a fixed pen size, then it keeps me from basically adding too much detail. And I was proud of myself. I got this done in a day after, so anytime you can do like your layouts in 2 hours and then finish the page that day, that's a good day in comics. Now, if you're really good, you can do that 2 or 3 times a day. If you're Jack Kirby, you can do a whole book in a weekend. We call that Kirby speed. I've never approached Kirby speed. I think the closest I've come is like 2 pages a day. So,
yeah, I try to limit my brush size and also how far in I zoom.
Yeah.
I always have like a limit, because if I don't, then it just takes like 5 years.
It takes 5 years. No one's ever going to see it, and you're literally just sort of grinding metal. So, I just made myself like, okay, you can't go in and draw like every tiny little minute detail like I did with Temerity. So this is going faster though, which makes me happy. If I get another page done today, I got to get a page done today and a page done tomorrow to stay on schedule. And then, yeah. So I might not get my Sunday Warhammer Day, which makes me sad. But let's see. Don't zoom in. You'll noodle yourself. That's right. Sarah knows. Listen to Sarah. And then Mecha Jared, let's see. Look at that. All those. Oh, JD, you need to change your name to Chad's Ballbuster #1. That I don't know if I can read that. Let's see. Yeah, solid day's work. And then Mecha Jared said, I think there's more detail in some of the stuff by the comic books nowadays. Yeah, there is, but Jared, people aren't going to see it. They're not going to see it. It's one of the reasons why, like, every now and then you got to go to the old school and learn some tricks, because they did things for a reason. They kept they put superheroes in costumes for a reason. They purposefully didn't do crazy details like laces and boots and things like that. And the reason why is because they're trying to get this stuff done as fast as they could. And so,
Yeah, it's amazing to go back to like that sort of Jack Kirby era of stuff and
yeah,
just see like it's so like at least for me, I feel a little bad saying this, but it's like at least for me, it's a little weird going back to it. I'm like, you know, I prefer sort of the level of detail that you find in modern comics,
yeah,
but going back, it's just like it's like yeah, this is broken down to a very simple form, but it's done like really expertly, and like you know the foreshortening is good and the poses are good and the anatomy's good and stuff. It's like
yeah.
you know the fundamentals are there, and so
Well,
you can learn a lot just by looking at it.
my all-time favorite X-Men artist was Mark Silvestri, and my mind just used to like overload with the detail that I thought he put in, and then I go back and I look at the pages that he did now, and they're so simple. Like, you know, your perception of things as a child and then your perception of things as an adult are two different things. Like, you literally add detail in your mind, especially when you're a kid. Because I remember thinking as a kid, like I was like, oh, this is insane, this is crazy. And I go back and look now, I'm like, wow, this is really actually... I mean, don't get me wrong, it's just like you said, Dev, it's expertly done. But it just gives almost this suspension of disbelief that just carries you across the ball field. Like, he gives you just enough information to fill in the gaps, and then you do that all on your own.
Yeah, it's so funny to like go back to like old gaming magazines during like the PlayStation 1 era and seeing articles like these are the most realistic graphics we have yet, and it's like, you know, PlayStation 1 games and everything. I remember thinking that as a kid when I was playing those kinds of games, was like, it can't get any better than this, and
yeah,
it's funny to look back.
Yeah. So JD Smith says Silvestri over Jim Lee, Chad. I think so. I think so. Don't get me wrong, Jim Lee's one of my favorites, but Silvestri was the bomb diggity. And then let's see.
Stuff doesn't look that simple. I'm looking at it right now. It looks pretty complex to me. Maybe, or are you talking about like a certain era that he did of X-Men?
Yeah, he so I think Jim Lee was first, and then Jim Lee went on to create. So they split X-Men into X-Men and then Uncanny X-Men, and I think Silvestri was doing Uncanny while Jim Lee was doing X-Men. So they're both going at the same time.
Yeah.
And I do think that I preferred Silvestri over Jim Lee, honestly.
Yeah, I'm seeing it now because I just looked up Mark Silvestri and I'm seeing like Batman and like Wolverine and stuff, and I'm like, this stuff looks really highly detailed and amazing. But then I looked up just Mark Silvestri X-Men, and it's like, yeah, I see the...
You see the preferences. And then, so, Sarah, yes, I'll definitely see you at San Diego. And, I think no, let's see, Jared said, yeah, so Jack Kirby basically, he says, you know, the older you get, you learn what not to draw instead of what to draw. And, yeah. But the secret is to make it look effortless. So,
I was just thinking about that the other day, watching you do the Death Watch panels and just being able to. Obviously, it's not this easy, but it's just like seemingly be able to pull really solid like composition, anatomy, foreshortening out of like seemingly thin air, and obviously, the reality of it is that you've done it so many times and you can transfer what you see in your head onto paper, and it's just.
Well, and then,
I need to remind myself, like, okay, I'm not there yet. I need to be using reference and everything.
Well, and then I'll also. So what I do is if I can draw it out of my head, I draw it out of my head. But what you don't see a lot of the times, especially on the podcast, is after the podcast is over, if I don't like something, I'll go pull reference for it and fix it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like if I can shoot from the hip and I hit the target, great. If I miss, then I go pull out the reference. But I'm very reluctant to get on the internet while we're on live stream because one bad keystroke and you're looking at something you shouldn't. So,
Yeah.
So I just, and then
I
also the older you get, the more you don't realize like where that culture goes. Does that make sense? Like the terms change, like cake right now. When I was a kid, cake meant cake. Well, now cake means something else, right? Right?
Yeah.
So
You're not wrong.
So you just got to be careful. Like I never know like what's going to pop up because something's trending or like Google isn't actually a real search engine anymore. It's basically a popularity director. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's a popularity director. Like whatever the most people are clicking on when they search for that thing, that's what Google turns up. It doesn't actually like turn up, like the best, searches. It turns up advertising dollars for its. People are placing ads on their stuff. So it's weird.
People are looking up playing for certain things, I guess.
Yeah. So
all you wanted was a pastry.
exactly. And that's not what you get. Anywho, let's see.
So, that was actually. Oh, here, if you want to read the chat.
Yeah, I'm just trying to catch up on what Sarah said. So Sarah said you can also hide a ton of things in a ton of detail, but you can't always do that with the simple things. It's arguably harder to make something simple consistently. Drawing Godzilla versus Mickey Mouse, you can detail. Yeah, there we go. And I don't know, Sarah, were you laughing because it took me so long to read your comment? I'm not sure. That's why you sometimes got to ask Jeeves. Ask Jeeves or ask Microsoft Bing or DuckDuckGo or the Brave browser or whatever you're into.
Yahoo Answers.
I am so lazy, though. I just stick with Google, which is probably why I'm afraid all the time.
Yeah, to what Catch Draws says about like Mickey Mouse versus Godzilla, which would actually be a pretty cool movie if they fought together. But no, drawing.
Let them fight.
Yeah, drawing Godzilla versus Mickey Mouse. Yeah, I don't know. I used to always draw like really cartoony things as a kid, and I didn't use any sort of like construction or anything. I just sort of drew things, and I've like completely lost that ability. Like if I try to draw anything like remotely cartoony, it just like I start with a perfect circle for like the cranial unit, and I gotta draw the jaw, and I gotta do all this and that, and it's like I've just like forgotten how to draw cartoony things.
See, and so this is my thinking for Zatanna. She's riding one of the Royal Flush Gang's flying playing cards. So she's like above Godzilla. I don't know if that makes sense. Does that even make sense?
I think it makes sense.
Let's see if I can pull it off. But yeah, that was the commission request. Then let's see. I want her hand going down, like summoning the portal. Then I'm going to have her holding her hat and then her hair flying. We'll see. I might not even like this pose. I'm literally just sort of trying to bang out a gesture here.
So back to talking about the whole like terms on the internet meaning different things than you expect them to. This is actually one of the talking points I wanted to bring up was so Chad, you're probably not terribly familiar with like meme culture and stuff, right?
No. I think that's a very safe assumption.
So,
no,
but
I wouldn't
feel
say
like
that's part of my scene.
I feel like someone like Parasite, and someone else might have mentioned it. The whole I don't even know if you'd call it a meme, but just this sort of terminology of calling people Chads.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And I was curious what your take is on all that.
Apparently I'm the male Karen. So this is really ironic.
You're like the alpha male.
Chad is the
Yeah.
alpha male?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, like
Like
Like,
the gym
oh-
bros. Yeah. Go ahead. there.
yeah, like I'm trying to think of a good way to describe it, but it's always like, I don't know, what's a good example? I don't know. It's always people saying, a lot of people use it to say like, oh, my opinion is right and this opinion is wrong and stuff. So it's like, for example, like, I don't know, the virgin Star Wars fan versus the Chad Star Trek fan,
Oh.
like
Oh.
that sort of thing. And so it's like
Makes you more manly.
the Chad is like you know, like, this guy's such a Chad. It's really bizarre.
Okay. Well, Sarah's giving me crap. Similar haircut. I'm going to stop reading the comments, you guys. You guys are like, oh, anyway, okay.
They were roasting you.
They are, but they're also friends, so they can do that. So I've told you guys about how like Jimmy is a black belt in ball busting, Jimmy Palmiotti. We've talked about that before, right? I thought we had.
A little bit.
I've observed as much.
Yeah, him and Frank Thierry are like best friends. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? So they're both from Brooklyn. They both grew up in Brooklyn. They both write comics. I don't know if they knew each other before, but like when you go out and like you see them together, like you would think that they absolutely hated each other by the way they talk, but they're just busting each other's balls. But I'm just like, I mean, like, I'm with them. I'm like, are you guys really friends? Or are you, like, trying to murder each other? Like, what is happening here? And, anyway, I was raised by, way too polite people. So, sometimes people, you know, they'll say something like that. And I don't even know what to say. I'm just like, thank you. You know, like, that's it. That's my black belt in ball busting, is saying thank you. But, you know, Jimmy will insult, like, it's a work of art. You have to watch it happen. I can't even really explain it. But anyway, he's on the internet enough that you can understand what's going on. I'm just saying I don't have that quick wit. Yeah, wait, dude. Oh no, that is Brandon. I thought. Okay, wait. Which ones are Brandon's? So Brandon's on. Yes, Lil Wayne has nothing on Jimmy. That's for sure. I did this on a separate layer because I wanted to be able to sort of scale it up and down or twist it and turn it. Just trying to get the gestures down. Now, Zatanna casts magic through word spells, but in comics you always want to make your characters acting. So I'm going to do the hand gestures even though it's not like Doctor Strange hand magic or whatever. It's... Yeah, we're carrying her hat. Let's see. I think I got that a little too squished, but I like the top part. So let's see if we can do a bottom. Oops. See if we can do a bottom where we like the stand just a little bit more.
Mecca Jared says it looks like you've got your mascot behind you.
My mascot behind me. Is that Boo? Boo, come here, baby. Come here, Boo. She's so sad. She says, Dad, we're supposed to go for a walk. Come here, Boos. Come here, Boo. Oh, look, the tail's wagging, but boy, it's wagging.
Oh,
Oh, Boo. You're a star. Boos. Oh,
How does
she's
how
so
does
camera
Boo
shy.
do with fireworks?
Boo barks at fireworks. So, she's in my
has she ever
bed.
attacked them?
Oh, we've never let her outside during them. So
That's good.
yeah, no, she would. Yeah, she doesn't. She doesn't do. She is very scared of everything.
Oh,
So
poor Boo.
yeah, so we keep Boo indoors 99.9% of the time.
She's a good girl.
She is. And she's very faithful to Dad. And right now she's depressed because everyone's gone except for Dad. Joy and Erica are in Cedar visiting Joy's dad and getting haircuts. They have their hairdresser is still in Cedar City. So they'll drive down to Cedar to get a haircut.
I mean, who's gonna give poor Boo attention then besides Dad?
Just me and Michaela. And you know, don't get me wrong, like, you know, Michaela, dude, that foot sucks. Yeah, I drew that foot and I instantly regretted it, and then I didn't mean to do that. Okay, I want the foot doing something like that, even though it really doesn't make sense. That really doesn't make sense, and it really doesn't look good. Daggone it. I was hoping this is going to be easy. It ain't guns to be. Alright, let's turn that off. Let's try again. This is why gestures are so important, folks. If the gesture don't work, the drawing's definitely not going to work. So make sure that you get that gesture working. You know, I like that. We're going to do like a Silver Surfer. There we go. Hold the hat with this hand.
I hate drawing feet. I feel like hands, I don't know, hands is just, like, even if I'm not the best at drawing hands, at least they, like, make sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're just kind of like rectangular prisms with cylinders on them. I mean, obviously there's a little more nuance to it than that, but it's like feet, it's like, okay, the inside is curved, but not the outside. But if you look at it from this angle, you know, yada yada.
Have you ever just filled a sketchbook full of feet? Is Perry making you do that?
Chris made us do it.
No, well, so when I took figure one with the Chris Young, we had the option of either doing a page of like 100 feet or doing just one big like rendered thing of feet.
Mm-hmm. I would have done that 100.
Yeah, I don't know, that semester was, I was also in your gesture class at the same time, so I was like, yeah, hella burned out.
Well, yeah,
which is not going to get any better, by the way, because I don't know if I told you, but I'm going to have to take 3 studio classes next semester, and I don't have any options not to, and it's probably only going to get worse from that.
Yeah, I've had students take 4 or 5 studio classes a semester, and they all ended in tears. And it didn't matter like how much we begged them as faculty like not to do it. They still did it anyways. And then
the problem is I don't have a choice. I mean, I was talking to Perry. I said, because you know the whole new entertainment design degree, you know, it's still got its growing pains, and it probably will until I graduate. But I just asked him. I was like, is there? He's like, if you don't take these classes now, like, you will be behind by like an entire year. So it's like, okay, I guess I'm taking 3 studio classes.
Was that John David that told you that?
No, it was Perry.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Plus, I'm looking at more internship stuff. I found some graphic design internships.
Oh, dope.
And I'd love to do those during the fall, but it's just like I'm gonna be stretched thin. Tell you what.
Can you give us any more information about the internships? Are they top secret? Or are they?
Well, I'm applying to. Well, so for one of them, it's for the athletics.
Oh, okay.
At UVU, and they already had me do sort of a test where they're like, okay, they basically said make a poster and do it in all these different formats.
Oh, okay,
and
cool.
That was like an entire month ago, and so I just assumed, I didn't get it, but then they contacted me for a second interview.
Oh, good.
And then I'm gonna have a first interview with the it's another sort of graphic design internship, but this time for the engineering department.
Okay. Are you going to do
So-
like 3D modeling or?
I'm not sure,
Okay.
honestly. I have to. I got to prepare all the questions for when I do the interview and everything, but yeah, it's like I said, I'm gonna be stretched thin. I mean, I almost wish I was doing an internship that had nothing to do with my major, but obviously that wouldn't be
Beneficial.
very helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless it was like a marketing or business one. I feel like.
Well, that's the thing is that my idea was, oh, if I'm, well, first of all, so I'm double minoring
Mhm.
just because before I switched majors to illustration, which is now entertainment design, I was doing
Well, they still have illustration design, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
right, yeah. Well, I'm just saying, like, based on the path I was on and everything, but I have a lot of like DGM credits, digital media.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I basically need to take like 2 or 3 more classes, and then I have the digital media minor.
Wow, good for you.
And then I want to take the marketing minor because I want to. And so my idea was like, oh well, I'm all out of general classes, so in order to not take too many studio classes, I can just take classes for my minor, and that'll sort of be a nice buffer. But it's not going to work out like that, unfortunately. Yeah. It's I've already switched my major like twice, so it's like I either just pull up my bootstraps and suck it up and take 3 studio classes, or I have to wait an entire another year.
Get done. I'm going to answer
Yeah.
that question for you. Get done.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. It's hard because I used to have an educational coach through the school,
Mm-hmm.
and then last semester they're like, "Oh yeah, we ran out. Sorry. Do you want to share one with someone?" And I'm like, "Sure, I guess." And then they just like ghosted me. And then
That sounds so much like EVU. Like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing at your expense, but I'm laughing at your expense.
no, it is laughable. But the thing is, like, last semester I only took 9 credits when I usually take 12,
Mm-hmm.
and I was still having a lot of difficulty, like even just with 9 credits and not having the educational coach. So I'm really hoping I can get accommodations and everything sorted out for next semester, because otherwise, like, I don't know, I'm kind of screwed.
Yeah.
I got to get my health under control too, because the fact that it's taking me this long to do any of my personal comic stuff, because I just have no energy, is like, okay, well, how am I going to handle 3 studio classes and an internship? It's going to be nuts.
Yeah. No, we could have a whole 2-hour discussion just about like how messed up education is right now. I'm just gonna address some of the things in the chat. Boo is a very fitting name for Boo. That is absolutely right, and we named her Boo before we knew that she was afraid of everything. So go figure. It's one of those things. Is like, did we name the dog Boo, and then all of a sudden it turned her into like a crazy, afraid of everything dog, or was she afraid of everything dog, and then we named her Boo? I don't know. Line of Action is good for practicing your gestures. Absolutely, I highly recommend that. There's other sites too, like Croquet Cafe, but to my knowledge, Line of Action is still the only free one, because with the pandemic, Croquet started charging, so you have to pay now.
Yeah.
Noxqui 413. Me too, Dev. Me too. I missed the comment, so I'm not exactly sure. Mecha Jared said, "So, Chad, which Godzilla is this? This is the classic Godzilla from the television show, with like the scaly detail of the Godzilla from the movie. But I'm definitely doing the TV show Godzilla. Well, I shouldn't say TV show. The Godzilla that they used to play on Saturday morning cartoons with Ultraman and all that, and Gojira and not Gojira. What was the turtle? Gamera. Late at night. That's what I'm drawing because that's what I know. So,
So Nox is Nat from your gesture class.
Oh, cool. Welcome, Nat. All right. Okay, sweet. And then Kat says, that's why I got stuck in college for so long. Yeah, the whole goal for college now is to get in, get out, and
With as little debt.
with as little debt as possible. And honestly, I would really consider doing the degrees that you know are going to pay off. Like even if you're an artist, doing the business and marketing degrees, because I think you can learn a lot of stuff from YouTube for free when it comes to art. But the business stuff is still very much. I don't know. I shouldn't. I don't know.
Yeah. Kind of mentioned it a couple times before. Just the whole concept of like, well, you can learn everything from YouTube, but there's sort of the discipline of academia, the environment. I mean, I've made meeting so many people and just the networking opportunities. It's not just for the paper that they hand you at the end. It's like, okay, the whole point is like, yeah, I want to graduate quote unquote as fast as possible, but it's like I want to I want all the benefits first. And I mean you remember when you had me in class, Chad, how many questions I asked.
But you always kept me on my toes though. You know what I mean? Like you would spot the errors in the Canvas course, which I would much rather find those and fix those, so like future students don't think I'm illiterate. So I actually appreciate that. I really did appreciate it. But you would find so many. Like most of the time, like most of the semester, I'd get like one or two, and you almost had like one or two per module. So I felt really good. But it just means you're good at it. So.
I always double and triple check that I'm doing the right thing. So I'm always like, oh, I know you said this was the due date, but Canvas says this,
Yeah.
But according to what I've heard from every professor, Canvas just seems like a nightmare to use. So I don't even blame people at this point. Like it seems like it's gotten better, but Chad, I kid you not, you are probably the only professor that allows me to submit image files that aren't just JPEGs.
Well,
every other class is sort of the default.
And that's just because we're old. And the older you get, the harder it is to learn new things, and the harder it is to change your ways. Like I'm still trying to get Photoshop to work instead of just biting the bullet and going with Clip Studio.
Like I said, we should do a stream where we teach you Clip Studio.
We should. As a matter of fact, I might make you and Ringo like just make me do that, and that's what we do. We just start using it because I really need to get to that point. Because Photoshop, okay, so just an update. The crashes are definitely some type of memory leak. Because like the larger the file, the sooner the crash in Photoshop. And then what else did I learn? And it doesn't help you at all if you save it to your desktop. Whether if you're saving to Adobe Creative Cloud or you're saving your desktop, it'll still crash. So it has nothing to do with like where you save it. Because I was wondering like if you worked on it online, if there was some type of like Wi-Fi bottleneck or something like that. And there's not. It still dies all the same. So going back to the chat real quick, the less, and it used to be though, like you could pay for your degree and it didn't matter the amount of student loans because the student loans weren't as high. There weren't as many predatory loans and things like that. But try to stay out of debt at all costs. And then your portfolio, exactly. So Cat Straws just says, no art director is ever going to look at your transcript. They're going to look at your portfolio. But you might need that degree to get past HR. So, but most of the time you just need a degree.
I was looking at a lot of positions and I was surprised how many of them. First of all, a lot of them. I mean, maybe this was just because they were like part-time positions or internships because I wasn't looking for anything full-time because I'm still in school. But a lot of them just like they didn't ask for a portfolio, but they were like, "Oh, you need a degree." You know, it was kind of weird.
Wait, are these for art positions?
Yeah, or graphic design. I was looking a lot on like Indeed or Handshake or whatever.
That's interesting.
From what I've heard from every professor who have been in the industry or are still in the industry, they've all said that it doesn't matter. So it's like I take their word for it, you know.
But you also have to remember that like the conditions of when that faculty member was active in their industry and still getting work and still getting connections and things like that. Like how accurate that information is. You guys are going to have to be more worried about beating an algorithm than you are in impressing an art director or an editor, because yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, you really have to think about things that way, because it used to be if you knew the right people, if you knew the gatekeepers, you could just approach those gatekeepers and get in. And I think there's still a few industries where it's like that, but when it comes to anything that has like an HR department, and the more demand there is for the job, the harder they're going to make the requirements. Like some of the entry level positions in some of these game studios are almost impossible, because they literally just, there's so many people, they can be that scrutinous. So anyway.
Well, I mean, that's why it's nice, like, you know, I could say, oh, I got my bachelor's degree in entertainment design or illustration, but it's like, it looks a lot better to say, oh, I had an internship with Chad Hardin, you know, like that sort of thing.
Well, it depends whether or not they know who I am. But,
well, that's true. But...
yeah, they'd be like, Chad who? I don't give a... So, let's see.
You haven't heard of the Chad Hardin? I'm sorry for you.
Let's see, Egg Foo's with us. Hey, Egg Foo. Yes. So Egg Foo's noticed it as well. Yeah, yeah. So, Egg Foo, I hope it still lets you save. Mine still lets me save, but I still have to save, restart Photoshop. It's annoying. It's not... If you're trying to be a professional, you cannot be a professional in Photoshop. And they really need to understand that. They're catering way too much to all the people on their phones than they are the professional. And I'm sorry, there's way more competition for stupid phone crap than there is for actually something you're charging someone $90 a month as a utility to use. It better not frickin' crash when you try to save it. But anyway.
So ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
Jared says, I learned a little from other writers, but I also learned from some college courses. Yeah. Yeah, Catch says, a huge number of my professional peers don't have any degrees. Yeah. And then Keone says, get an solid state hard drive, 500 gigabyte, and use that exclusively as your cache, and you'll stop getting those crashes. Look at Brandon. We should have asked Brandon. But still, Brandon, you gotta buy a hard drive, install it to your machine so Photoshop works? Come on. Anyway.
That may not even fix the problem. Like, I think he's kind of exaggerating, but it's
no, like... Brandon knows his stuff. Brandon is... Keone Graphics is probably the premier logo designer in the world. I venture to say that if there's anyone that has more logos than him, you can count them on one hand. He knows Photoshop, and he knows its limits because he's working them every day. So I would take that as a pretty good fix advice, but still.
Whoa, way to be, man.
Yeah, Catstraw says, I've never had someone ask where I went to college. Aiming for a huge studio, it might help. I think it's good to get the experience, Sarah. That's it. Like, once you get in there, you get the experience, you get out. Yeah.
Well, that's what I was gonna say is the fact that, at least specifically at UVU, like it's competitive enough to the fact where it's like they don't just give the degree to everybody. They don't let everybody into the program. So it's like if you have that degree, like it shows it will show in your portfolio that you had the discipline and that you know, followed directions and that you
Jump through the
have
fiery
a good work
hoops.
ethic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
Pickle Launcher says Chad Ho.
now, is Pickle Launcher, is that Kelton?
I have no idea.
I think Kelton loves to use Pickle in his avatar name, so.
A good chance, then.
Kelton, if that's you. And then Egg Foo says usually it saves, but it will crash, so saving way more often, crashing while exporting files for the web too. Ugh.
Save often, save your sanity is what I like to say.
Yeah, photos, and I agree. This is what I agree with. Sarah says, Catstraw says Photoshop's on its way out. That's why we're trying to teach me Clip Studio, and I'm just a jerk, and I won't learn it.
I really
Oh,
do
dear.
think that it won't take you very much time at all, because
It's super intuitive.
I was using Photoshop since I was like 10 years old. I had like a copy of CS3, and I was like, oh boy, I need to switch to Clip Studio. It's going to take me forever. But it's like a lot of the hotkeys are the same, a lot of the layouts are the same, but you may need to change it right out of the box because there's different modes. You know how different programs where it's like, even Photoshop has like, oh, this is like painting mode. This is, you know, and it moves the layer box around and stuff. But it's like, you know, Clip Studio, I just use the standard, you know, toolbar on the left, layers on the bottom right, all that stuff.
So,
Ooh, do you want to hear about a cool new feature in Clip Studio I just found out about?
yes.
So if you download the app, the Clip Studio app from your phone and hook it to your account, you can actually use your phone for certain like windows. Like you can make it your color picker, you can make it your layers, so you don't have to have that on your screen.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome.
So, Brandon says, I shouldn't say this, but take it for what it is. Some huge studios now, and then he says, Chad knows who I'm talking about, are beginning to use AI for design now too. So you'll have to contend with what the coming years as well. So not only do you have to worry about the job market, now you have to worry. I thought art would be safe. I really did. I thought art would be one of the last things to get automated away. But what's happening, it's so easy for companies like Adobe and Facebook and Google to basically steal your information. They're getting flooded with information. So everyone sharing their artwork on the internet is doing nothing but making it easier for AIs to steal our jobs in the future. Which is why...
that's such a double-edged sword.
Yeah, and which is why Andrew Yang said that all these big companies should be paying us for our information that they're stealing, because they're literally we are the mineral that they keep stealing from. So, and I don't know if you've used any of the, have you guys done any of the AI tools?
I did one on a website. I can't remember what it's called though.
There's no way that they can operate without that source material. And so the reason why it's getting so good and so able to do things is because everyone is just putting everything on the internet, and they're just stealing everything. So
stupid.
Yeah, so we're literally helping robots put us out of work. Anyway, good times ahead, everybody. Good times ahead.
The problem is that like it seems like you have to be on social media to network.
You do.
You know what I mean? It's like you have to put your stuff online.
Yeah.
Otherwise, people won't see it. It's like you can't just have a physical portfolio you bring to conventions anymore. I mean, granted, there's probably some places some people that still look for that, but it's like you just can't really do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I mean by it's a double-edged sword, because as much as I would love to like say, hey, stop stealing my art and stop putting it online, if I do that, then there's no way I'm going to get work.
Yeah. Well, I think the answer is to demand it from the social media companies that they compensate you. Like if they're going to use your information to sell, that you get compensated for that sell. And and believe it or not, you know, Europe already has laws like that. Other parts of the world have laws like that. It's just America. Hey, why is Boo? Michaela, did Boo growl at you? Did she growl at you?
Uh-oh.
Oh, that was weird.
Why'd she growl at a kid?
I don't know if she did or not. I had my headphones on. It sounded like a growl, and then Michaela's like doing her laundry. Maybe she was just like getting up and stretching though. I don't know. Did you guys hear it?
Not from my end.
Yeah.
I think Discord's pretty good at filtering out noises that aren't just speech. I mean, I was eating potato chips earlier, and I don't think you guys even heard it. So.
No.
No.
You can still
it's
you
nice.
can still have potato chips though, huh?
I didn't eat... Well, I mean, I probably shouldn't be eating them, but yeah.
No.
Just snacking on
You
them.
deserve potato chips. You've been through a lot, man.
Yeah. No, I've been limiting how much fruit I've been eating.
Mm-hmm.
Which it's like I was never a big fruit eater, but now that I can't really eat it, I'm like craving it like crazy. And so for the 4th of July,
you can't have fruit?
No, it's too sugary.
Really?
Yeah.
Really, fruit is too sugary.
Yeah, I mean, I can probably have it in another like 6 months or whatever. But...
Oh, okay, but just not right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we cut up a watermelon for the 4th of July, and it was so good, but it made me so sick.
Huh. Oh, I got food poisoning from a food truck the other day.
Ugh.
Whew.
You want to tell us which one so we can avoid it?
I don't. Okay, so they opened up a food truck station right by my house.
Oh yeah, the Grove Station or something.
And
like that?
it's really cool. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And we've done it before, and there's never a problem. We just went this one time, and I immediately got sick. Like,
Ew.
yeah.
What did you eat?
I ate chicken ribs and fatback.
Chicken ribs.
Chicken,
comma
ribs. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think they're pork ribs, and obviously if it's fatback, it's also pork. But if anything, any one of those aren't properly cooked, you're going to get food poisoning. So I'm not sure which one was the culprit. It was all from the same truck. But anyway, I mean, and the other thing that was bad about it is I tried not to eat meat at all, but it was like date night, and it was sort of like the only thing they had there, and there wasn't a vegan option or even a vegetarian option. So it's like and I was like, why not? If you're gonna break the rules, break them big. And then so maybe it might have had something to do that I'm just not used to it anymore, but I got sick. I mean, I got sweaty, like.
Food poisoning's the worst.
Oh man, it is the worst. Can you guys see the Zatanna? How's the Zatanna doing? Let me really see. So Brandon says it's completely ridiculous. JD says if it helps ease the fear, motion capture was supposed to replace animators. Years later, we are still gainfully employed. You know what though? But you're just tweaking the animation. You're not doing the animation. Anyway. Doll-E Mini is the AI. Brandon's telling us that a bunch of my friends have been tinkering with Midjourney. Okay, so another AI. Pickle Launcher. AI art as concept makes me sick. Yeah. Yeah, cat straws, but yeah, it gets super hairy when you start typing in Cat in the Hat as done by insert artist here. Yeah. Yeah. JD Digital Smith says it'll just be another tool like Photoshop or Clip Studio. No, it won't. It won't. You need to look at what they're making now. They will be able to replace artists. I'm telling you, I've seen stuff that I cannot tell was generated by a computer. Like the stuff that, yeah, it's going to be bad. It's going to be a robopocalypse. But anyway, Sarah says, nope. Chicken ribs. JD's bust my balls. All right. You ate some. This is a family podcast, sir. You're going to get banned. I got food poisoning a few weeks ago, but it was from boba. Wait, Sarah, how does that even happen? You're going to have to give us details. Did you pray the toilet cards? Out of both ends. Yes. Thanks for asking. And then we're caught up. So, okay. Tell me how the Zatanna's looking, guys, if you guys can see it. Let's flip it. Hold on. Let's do our tricks. Let's flip it. Okay, this leg's way too short. All right, I'm glad.
What is she riding on again?
She's basically riding on an anti-gravity flying card. So
like a playing card?
Yeah, like a playing card. Yep.
He looks a little bit.
Say it.
I think she just looks like a little bit small. Like, I know Godzilla is like this huge monster, but I don't know.
So compositionally, you would just make her bigger in the composition.
Yeah, I guess it depends on how close you want her to be. If she's closer to like your viewer, then
make it bigger.
Just a bit.
I changed that leg, and now I'm wishing I hadn't, because for whatever reason, it's goofing me.
So is she like casting a spell with her wand?
Basically, she's casting a spell. So Zatanna's magic is verbal magic. She basically says her incantations of the spell backwards, which makes her like insanely powerful as a character. The magic's not in the hands, but I always do like the magic, like she's saying it and then it's like coming out of her hands, because otherwise visually it's uninteresting. But boy, do DC fans, oy oy oy, they don't like it. They're like, it doesn't come out of her mouth, or anyway. I just like, how do you draw magic coming out of someone's mouth? It has to come out of their hands. So anyway, fans can be fun sometimes.
I was gonna say I've never actually gotten food poisoning, but did I ever tell you, Chad, that I was allergic to beef for a year?
No.
A year only?
Yeah, so when I first moved out here, I was making my sister steak for her birthday, and I burned myself pretty badly, and so I had to put burn cream on it. And then when I went to eat the steak, my throat got all itchy, and it kind of closed up a little bit, and I was like, oh, I must have accidentally ingested some of the like burn cream or whatever. Yikes. And so I didn't think anything of it. But then every time I ate beef, specifically red meat, it no, it was just beef. But then I also tried lamb later on, and that didn't go well either. But I would have like allergic reactions to it, and apparently on the East Coast there's something called the Lone Star tick. And if it bites you, you basically get a red meat allergy.
Really? So were you bitten by a tick that you know of?
I must have been, because I don't know what else would have caused it, but apparently for most people it's lifelong, but for me it was like my mom had a friend, and her husband also had it happen to him, and she said that after a year it went away. So I tried beef again, and I wasn't allergic to it anymore. But for a while, I was like going into anaphylactic shock when I would try beef.
That is nuts.
Yeah, and then it just went away.
Huh.
But you want to know something a little horrifying?
Yes.
I could eat Taco Bell just fine.
Oh,
because it's not meat. You know, it's like Soylent Green is people. Taco Bell's not beef.
Oh no.
That's funny. Allison's on with us too. Yay! Hi, Allison.
Yeah, it was bad. I had to. I started carrying like an EpiPen with me in case I had it happen to me again. But it was just. Dude, boy! But that's probably the closest I've ever gotten to like food poisoning was it
a tick allergy bite?
Sometimes in the bathroom and everything.
Oh, yeah. Well,
and feeling like I was gonna die because I couldn't breathe through my mouth. It was. Well,
that's what terrified me the most about whatever I had. That I think it was monkeypox, but I was never tested, never diagnosed with it. But after reading all the symptoms of the current monkeypox thing that's going around, that's what scared me. Is it started with like one sore, and then that sore spread to my entire mouth, and then and then it like hurt to swallow. So I think it was like going down my throat, and it hurt to breathe. Like that's for like 3 weeks. It hurt to breathe, and it was scary. It was scary.
When I had COVID a couple weeks ago, my throat was not good.
Huh? You had COVID and you had the surgery at the same time, or is this separate?
No, it was probably a month and a half after surgery. But yeah, I mean, it's so weird because everyone in my family got it, but like we all had sort of common denominator symptoms, but it presented in all of us differently. Like my sister had a hard time breathing. My mom lost her sense of taste and smell, and then for me, it affected my throat the most.
Starbite, is just now, I think, getting their sense of smell and taste back. And
wait, when did Starbite get COVID?
They got really sick with COVID. Really, yes, like almost killed them.
Damn, did they go to the hospital or something?
No, which they should have, but they didn't. Yeah. It was no joke. And then Johnny Monstar got it.
Holy shit! Sorry, Johnny got it too.
Yes.
Forgive my language.
And it really, he almost died. So I'm sitting there watching my students get it, and it freaked me out. Because when you watch a young person, 20 in their 20s, and it, Johnny might be older than in his 20s, but most of the students that I know that had it, that got it bad, were pretty darn young. I must have gotten it at some point, because everybody in my house has had it but Joy and I. So I think Joy and I had it, and we just didn't know, like we were vaccinated or something. But everybody in our house has had it. Like everybody else in our house has tested for it and tested positive. So I don't know if like a couple of weeks ago I thought I had allergies really bad, and that's when Tacey and Chad both tested positive. But we basically self-isolate unless we're going to a convention, and we have to test to go to the convention, and we've never tested positive. So, but I can't believe that like all my kids have had it in this house and we didn't have it. You know what I mean? There's just no way.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I'm like an introvert, so I don't really like go out that much. But it's like I've been going to classes in person, and everything. So it's like I go out, and when I caught it like a month and a half ago, that was the first time I had it. So broke my streak and everything.
Yeah.
Is it just me, or is it a little bit embarrassing to get it like 2 years after it was a huge deal?
No, it sucks because you think you beat it, and then it comes up like a robber in the night and just clubs you on the back of the head. So, I'm going to read the chat real quick. Let's get caught up. Yeah, food poisoning is just as bad until you sweat bullets or throw up. Yeah, and see, I hate throwing up. See, if I would just go and throw up, I'm pretty sure that my food poison would be instantly over. But I can't do it. Like, I fight the throwing up. Worse than anyone I know. Like, I just hate it.
And
so
right there with you.
Yeah, I will fight throwing up when I should just stick my finger down my throat and get it over with, but...
Oh, it was the worst the other day when I had... it wasn't watermelon, it was something else that made me really sick. Something I shouldn't have been eating, but that I indulged in. Something probably carb heavy, but I felt like I needed to throw up, and then I would have felt better, but my body like wouldn't let me. I was like dry heaving, and nothing was coming up. It was miserable.
Yeah.
Because it's like once you throw up, you're not queasy anymore.
Yeah.
And I hate being queasy, but like my body just wouldn't let me. It was so bad. That was the worst right after surgery when I had to take like opioids and stuff.
Uh-huh.
I was like, after a while, I was feeling so queasy, and it was like, dude, I would rather be in pain than throw up, because I feel like throwing up, especially after getting like stomach and esophagus surgery, is like the worst case scenario.
Oh,
so
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I was like, dude, just throw out the pain medication. Like I can't be feeling queasy like this anymore.
Oh man, that would be. Ugh. Yeah, just stay home and eat yogurt. So everybody else is
yogurt for the win.
Everyone else is talking about COVID and Comic Cons. So even before COVID, you would get what was called con cred. You'd go to a convention, especially if you went to a convention someplace where you don't live, like if you traveled to a show, because your immune system didn't have any defense against, like the local diseases or whatnot. And we were talking about this a little bit before we started. The new ninja variant of COVID, which is Omicron but deadly. So it's just as transmissible as Omicron, just as deadly as Delta. So strap in, folks. But yeah. Anyway, I don't know if we'll ever be done with COVID at this point. I think we just might have
It's safe to call it an epidemic now.
An epidemic? Is that what?
Instead of a pandemic.
Pandemic, okay.
I think pandemics are temporary and epidemics are longer, I think is the definition, but I'm probably wrong about that, so don't quote me.
Yeah, none of us are doctors, so we're all just talking out of whatever our best guess is. But I think you're probably right, though, Ringo.
I'm always right.
Yeah.
No.
Allie says that Johnny is the same age as she is. So thanks, Allie. That clears that up. There's one time where I didn't. So when I was really sick, dude, I don't know what's worse. I don't know. Yeah, we're not going to talk about that though. We're not going to talk about. We're not going to talk about gross things. Dry. Catch is like dry, and then there's drive heaving, and then there's pooping and throwing up at the same time. Sarah didn't say that. That was me being facetious. Oh my gosh. Brandon's quoting Lo Wang. I'm not going to read that. You guys can read it. Jared also. Everyone hates throwing up. It's universal. But yeah, you got to wash your hands. You got to wear masks. You got to wash your hands. So this is the interesting thing. I have done all the shows. I did them with a mask. I have hand sanitizer right there. And the only thing I ever got was monkeypox. So I didn't get COVID. I got the monkeypox. But they say the monkeypox comes from dirty hotel linens. So I can't remember the hotel we were at. Or, like I said, I'm not even sure I got it at Calgary. I probably got it someplace else and then brought it in. But, anywho.
Catch Draws mentioned going to Anime Expo. We were just talking about that before the stream. Was how absolutely crowded it was to the point of like fire safety concerns.
Yeah.
So I don't. Yeah, I hope you don't catch anything from
that. Sarah, did you go to Anime? Did you go to Anime Expo?
He said, I was at Anime Expo for the last day, and people are already turning up COVID positive.
Oh, wow.
Go figure.
Yeah, I got con crud from Dubai, and that was rough. I think they call it like Mercer, or anyway, I don't know. It was like Middle Eastern Respiratory Syndrome. But anyway, apparently a lot of the soldiers that were serving over in the Middle East, they got it too. Anyway, yeah, con crud's no joke. Getting sick is not good. So do everything you can to avoid it. Practice sanitary conditions. Don't lick your hotel room remotes. I'm pretty sure that's what gave me the monkeypox. No, I'm teasing. But.
Okay, real quick. I don't know what if you guys have experienced this, but it's like certain people they vastly underestimate how long people are sick.
Mm-hmm.
Like for some reason my mom is like that, where it's like I'll be like, oh, I have a sore throat, or like I have like flu-like symptoms,
mm-hmm.
and 2 days will pass, and she's like, you're still sick?
Yeah.
Other people are like, you're still sick, and I'm like, yeah, it's only been 2 days.
Well, but see, okay, here's what happens though. Like, I was still teaching classes when I had monkeypox. I mean, I showed you guys my tongue, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or no, I don't think you did.
I'm pretty sure I showed students my tongue. So.
I don't think I was one of those students.
Okay. Well, you guys might not have been there, but I'm pretty sure. Like, people were asking how you doing, and I just opened my mouth, and they'd be like, "Oh my god!" Like, my mouth was full of like monkeypox. So anyway.
Alright, I'm gonna catch up on some comments if that's okay.
Yeah, do it. Let me draw.
Okay. So let's see. We've got Catstraw says, dude, the one time I got con crud was from WonderCon. I was so mad because I had to go to KawaiiCon immediately after and I was so sick. Felt like strep throat, worst stuff I've ever experienced.
Wow. Yeah, strep is nasty. It probably was strep, Sarah.
And then Allison says she got the creepy crawlies from How You Can Get Monkeypox.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. It's not easy to catch, but I did it. Which is why I think I got COVID. Because apparently it's not that easy to catch monkeypox. It's pretty hard to do. Which I can't imagine. Like, if I had monkeypox that I made it through COVID unscathed. I don't know. We'll see. I really need to find my notes on this commission to make sure I'm doing it right. But
might be important, you know.
Yeah. Because I hate drawing them and getting them done and be like, I messed this up. But that's what I spilled my water on, Ringo. It was like my commission. So my commission book is drying out, and I had to throw away my. I had some sketch covers from Absolute Comics for Jimmy Tyndall, and those are completely ruined. I just had to chuck them. So, yep, food and artwork don't mix, folks. You learned that today
not
on
liquids.
creatingcomics.com or the live stream. Don't have any open containers near your artwork with liquids. Or even
especially not melted ice.
Food is bad too. Food is just as destructive. Like, you'll drop like a tiny piece of food and it'll land on your artwork and then it'll create that oil stain. No bueno. No bueno.
Yeah, the sketchbook I was using for Perry's class, I spilled water on it by accident.
Oh, see? And Perry don't care. Did you just redo it?
No, I just photoshopped it to make it look like it didn't have a water stain.
The way to be.
I would have just redrawn it, man. Just redraw it. It's got to take you less time to redraw it than it has to fix it in Photoshop. How long did it take you to fix each image in Photoshop? How long did it take you?
Like 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. All right. So it wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad. But also Perry was like, look, if you want to like subtly adjust like the anatomy and the proportions on what you submit using Photoshop, like he was like, I don't care.
Really? That
yeah
shocks me to my core that Perry said that. I want Brandon. Do you hear that? Did you hear that, Brandon? I want Brandon to chime up on this. That is, I can't believe that. I can't believe that in something Perry is easier than I am, because that would be a big no for me. That would be a big no for me. Because I mean, how can you tell like what is your drawing ability? What's your?
He said, if it's like something well, see here's the problem, right? We only used graphite a couple of times in that class. We were mainly using Prismacolor.
Yeah, because that's how Perry rolls. He wants to see your mistakes. Yeah. And
so.
Yeah.
It was mainly for things like projects where it's like, okay, you've already rendered it, you can't erase it. This proportion's off, but if you want to, like spruce it up just a little bit, like obviously, within reason, but yeah.
Huh. See, look, Allison and Brandon are both like, what the F is going on? They can't believe it. They can't believe it.
Yeah, I really didn't have like any sort of difficulty with Perry this semester, and I don't. It's definitely not because of like my drawing skills, right? Because the whole reason I had to take Figure 2 was because I only got into the entertainment design provisionally.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but yeah, I don't know. It's like he obviously like took it seriously, and he was hardcore, and he would point out mistakes, but it was like I never had any sort of, I guess, negative experiences in that class. I don't know.
Huh. Well, I know that the university came out with new, well, perhaps they were old, but there was just like confusion in the art department. But they basically said like, and I don't want to bash on anyone, okay? But I would always like whenever I gave an assignment, I would basically do the homework, and then I would take the amount of time it took me to do it, and then I would double it. Because you guys are new, right? Like I would just double it. Like what's a heavy workload for me? Cut it in half and say, okay, see if you can handle this much. Does that make sense?
Makes sense to me.
So like I would always try and sort of gauge, and I would time myself so I would know like how much time to give you guys on stuff. And there were some students who could do it no problem. There's some students who are like, I'm being too hard, and there's some students that were just like mediocre. You know what I mean? Like they didn't care either way. And I figured that was probably a good place to be, because like if some students were angry at you, you know, some students are always going to be angry at you no matter what you're doing. But I figured that was a good barometer. Does that make sense? Because like if some students said it was too much and some students said it was too little, and then some students didn't care, I'm like, okay, I'm probably in that Goldilocks zone, right? But like every one of Perry's students was just like, I can't handle this. And so I think they came in and they said like, because it used to be, Dev, you had to turn in a 100-page sketchbook by the end of the semester. And I think they came in and like told Perry like he basically couldn't do it anymore, that he was over the allotment, on time or whatever. So he might have had to just sort of pull things back. I don't know.
It was also a strange situation because it was a summer class.
Yes.
It was a 1-block class, so it was like condensed. So it was still pretty intense, but it was like I think he realized like, okay, we only have 7.5 weeks, like we can't.
Yeah.
Not to mention we had days wasted because we ourselves had to schlep all of the equipment from, you know, GT 412 or 413 or whatever.
They made you guys do it instead of faculty or facilities. They made you guys do that.
And the thing is, Perry wanted to do it before classes started, but they wouldn't let him. So first day of class, it's like, okay, let's introduce ourselves. Now let's bring all the equipment down and not draw the first day, basically. And then the last day of class, we drew for 30 minutes, and then we used the remainder of the class time to schlep everything back.
You had to take it back. So are they done with the construction then? That was quick.
I don't think so. I don't know. The first day of class, it looked like a nuclear bomb had dropped. There were wires hanging from the ceiling. There was rebar everywhere. There was holes in the wall. And then the last day of class, it looked maybe 20% better. But apparently they're finishing construction on the food court.
Oh, good.
So that's going to finally be done in the fall.
I know, because walking all the way to the Fulton Center to get to Cup Bop before 2 o'clock was like mission impossible.
I know, you just that, I don't know. It's so stupid because when I first came to UVU, they had like the food court on the bottom, and then on the top they had like a cafeteria style area.
Yes. Yeah.
And then they got rid of that and replaced it with Panda Express
and Chick-fil-A. Yeah.
And now what they're doing is, we're going to bring back the cafeteria. It's like this. It's been gone. That whole place has been blocked off for like 2 years now. Yeah.
All right, guys, what do we think? You know, I still hate Zatanna's legs. I'm gonna have to break out reference for that. I'm never gonna get that to where I want. But I'm happy with my Godzilla. I think my Godzilla's looking pretty dope.
Yeah, he looks awesome.
I get it, Chad. The whole like, I don't know, like it should look right, but it just doesn't. I was dealing with that with my comic. I'm like, okay, this is like a super basic pose, and for some reason things look too long, so I shortened them, and now they don't look right still, and it's just I flip it horizontally and it still doesn't.
Like I said, I try and do things out of my head first, and if it works, great, and if it doesn't work, get reference. I think that's, I don't like the way this leg's posed right here. It's this leg right here. But I hate being on a live stream where it's just like, and this is something I hope I try to teach you guys, is like, don't get hung up on stuff. Like if you're hung up on a leg, like there's plenty of other stuff to be working on. But like literally,
yeah, I noticed that you moved on, and that's sort of what I try to do. But the problem with me is that when I go back to it, I'm like, okay, I'll figure out the rest first. But I don't know. It's like there's a balance, because right now it's like I'd love to just start inking the first page, but it's like, well, I haven't finished sketching even the second page, and I still have like more pages to do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You can't get bogged down. Yeah.
I will be frank with you. I think my work ethic right now is pretty effed right now.
Well, if you're not feeling well, I think that's okay, Dev. I mean, you had surgery, you had COVID. I think it's okay to just say I'm not feeling well, and I don't feel like trying to kill myself when I should be taking it easy.
I know, but I'm so nervous for the semester to start up, because it's just
you're gonna be so relieved when you're done.
If I can handle it, that's the thing. I'm just like.
But you're close though, right?
What do you mean?
You're close to graduating, right? You got to be pretty close.
If I stay on track, I will be. But I mean, I don't know. Just this upcoming semester where I'm hopefully going to be doing an internship and 3D studio classes, and oh man. Yeah.
Don't stress out about it. Like I can hear sort of like the anxiety in your voice.
Well, again, I only took. I mean, it was last semester, not summer, but spring. That was when I was taking your sequential class, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, think about how much trouble I had hitting the deadlines in that class, and then keep in mind I was only taking 9 credits.
Wow.
So it's like.
Well,
I'm struggling.
Speed only comes with practice, though. So just be diligent. Make sure that
I really need to be timing myself, because it's like that's why the internship has been good, because I've been like sort of forced to time myself.
Yeah.
Like, how long did you spend on this? And it's like,
yeah,
I don't know. That's why I'm doing this comic project that I'm doing is that it's to basically test, like, okay, where are my weak areas?
Yeah.
What is taking me the most time? What is, and by the time I'm done with it, I'm gonna like, stand back and observe, like, okay, which parts of these, like, even though they're quote unquote finished, which parts of these are the weakest, and all that stuff. That's why I'm doing it,
Yeah.
Mecha Jared is back.
Oh, good.
It says.
Good. Brandon's like, cup up. As we're talking about food poisoning and.
I don't know. I've been disappointed the last couple times I've been to Cup Up. See, okay, here's the thing.
They really got slammed with the supply chain stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big time.
Here's the thing. I know I bitch and moan about Utah a lot compared to New York, but
we have so much to offer.
The quality of food here.
The amount of green Jello.
But just also like fast food. You know what I mean? It's like.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Something like KFC back in New York versus here. I can't eat that stuff anymore, because like the workers just don't care.
Well, not only do they not care, but the reason why you have so many of these giant restaurants and they don't pay anyone anything is because, generally, okay, big families don't have lots of money. They just don't. When you have like 10 kids, you can't afford to go out to eat. And if you do go out to eat, chances are it's going to be a burger joint, because that's all you can afford. And so that's why we have 1 million burger stands, and they're all the same thing. Like here we have how many, Apollo Burger, uh, JCW, Iceberg. You know, I mean,
Arctic Circle.
Arctic Circle. Like, how many of these are like just Utah only brands?
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, the ice cream's super cheap. Like, I don't know if you guys have noticed this. Have you ever ordered a small shake in Utah, and they give you a 32-ounce like Coke bottle of freaking ice cream? You know, I'm serious.
Because we just have a lot of like dairy farms and stuff.
I don't know. I do not know. All I know is like one shake in Utah is a diabetic coma. It is way too much ice cream that anyone should ever eat, and that's the small. God forbid you order a large, because they're just gonna bring like a cattle trough out and put it in the back of your truck.
KFC bucket.
Yeah, exactly. It's anyway. But
also, Dev, I'm just gonna throw it out there. I know you said like you don't mean to like complain about Utah, but it is really relieving to hear someone from outside of Utah complain about Utah. Because I feel like Utahns have a lot to say, but like knowing that someone who didn't grow up here kind of feels the same way is really relieving.
Yeah.
Well, to be frank, I was spoiled, and I didn't realize it. Just the quality and the diversity of the food in New York.
Yeah.
And New York is something special.
I'm really missing like the greenery. I mean, all the idiots setting off fireworks and starting forest fires out here. You
know what though? I go to New York every year, and there's sirens and gunshots.
Yeah, no. Here's the thing: when I grew up in New York,
the
first 18 years of my life, it was actually really good, and now the legislation and the politics have changed, and now it's horrible, and it's like I don't even want to go back at this point. But,
yeah, they say it's like the 80s. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's because that's the thing I always tell people, because people always imagine New York like it's the Roaring '20s and it's full of smog and gunshots and everything. And I always used to tell people when I first moved out here, oh, it's not like that at all. It's been really cleaned up.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh, yeah, it's like, it's probably...
Yeah,
I used to say like, oh, Salt Lake is worse than Manhattan. But now it's like, no, it's not anymore.
Yeah.
Did you grow up in the city? Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
So I grew up on Long Island, so that's...
wow.
Technically one of the 5 boroughs.
Right.
Of New York. But it was, I'd say, an hour train ride away from Manhattan.
That's still pretty much like there.
Yeah, I didn't go to the city as much as I could have, obviously, but it was like I was still like I wasn't in the city, but I was still like of the city.
Yeah. Well, it's just like when I went to school in San Francisco, the campus was downtown, and then you rode the BART in from. But I lived in South Bay, Fremont. So, I mean, technically, I wasn't in San Francisco, but I was in San Francisco. It was sort of like that. That's I'm assuming, right?
Chad, did I ever tell you that before I left New York, I went to the pizza place that was in the first Spider-Man movie, the Sam Raimi one?
No.
Yeah.
I love New York pizza so much. It's not even funny.
Yeah, no, I went there. It was where it was where the inside of the pizza scenes were filmed, or was it the outside? I don't remember, but
still, that's pretty cool.
Chad, you said you like New York pizza?
First of all, New York pizza is the only real pizza.
Yeah.
I agree.
Chicago is lasagna with a crust. I'm sorry.
Yep.
You can like it. If you like it, awesome. But let's not call it pizza, because that's not what it is. It is.
I will say,
it is a casserole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, even though I'm a pizza snob, there's this Detroit-style pizza place that is in Utah now called Via 313.
I've seen those. I've seen them. Okay.
Yeah, it's really good. It's kind of pricey, but it's really good.
Okay, right. No.
It's good pizza, and that's coming from a New Yorker. So.
Okay.
Okay.
I haven't found a good bagel place out here though. So.
Well, that's because New York does bagels like no one else.
It's the Wada. They'll tell you it's the Wada.
It's not.
In the Wada.
It's in the Wada. That was a Boston accent. I don't even think that was a. Yeah. All right, let's see what
sorry to every New Yorker ever.
Let's see. Feels like California, but with taco places. Oh, that's so true. I'm from San Diego, so yep. The border is right there. You got some seriously good Mexican food, though. You got some carne asada fries. Let me tell you something. I'm salivating just thinking about it. Taco night. Allison says for sure. We should. You know what we really need to do? We should have an intern party. Anyone that used to be an intern, and everyone should come over. I'll give everyone COVID, and then we'll go swimming in the swimming pool.
Okay. Now you know what we need to get?
What's that?
Have you ever been to Villaggio's?
No.
It is this little pizza place down in South Salt Lake. Little New Yorker guy runs it. It brought his family recipe from New York. Holy crap. It is genuine New York pizza.
I am down. I am 100% down for that.
Place. Where is it?
It's called Villaggio's down South Salt Lake. It's right next to like a rec outlet and a barbershop. Tiny little hole in the wall. It is the best pizza I've ever had in Utah, hands down.
There's a place that I actually found during Christmas. It was my mom's Christmas present for my sister and I. It's crap. What is it called? I gotta Google it, and then I have to leave actually because I gotta go to work soon. But,
well, I was about to say we got to wrap it up here too. So
what is it
trying
called?
to get as far as I can on the pencil.
Sergio's. It's in South Jordan.
Sergio's?
Yeah, and it's not the best New York pizza, but it's New York pizza.
Okay.
It's like the right stuff.
It's the right stuff.
I had it before my stomach surgery, and it was heaven.
Hey, you know what we'll do?
They have garlic knots and everything.
Oh, hell
You said the magic word right there.
We're gonna get a slice of Sergio's. We'll get a slice of Villaggio's, and then we'll get just like, I don't know, whatever is not real pizza, and then we'll compare. And then Dev will have the final say.
We'll have a pizza off.
Yes. And then I'll get super sick and
then, yeah, but it'll be worth it.
It will be worth it. It's New York pizza.
We're gonna make foie gras with Dev. Oh, I'm sorry. Chad is bad. Bad.
I hate to
Chad.
say this. I really.
My unfollow button lit up.
Yeah. I really hate to say this, but like in New York, never go to like a Sbarro's, right? Because it's not good. But out of New York, I feel like Sbarro's is like a 4 out of 10. It's like it's very okay, mediocre pizza, but it's like
it's right.
I don't know. But in New York, yeah, never go there. But if you're in New York,
it's gotta be blasphemy when you're in New York to like go to
absolutely. It is. It absolutely is. But if you're in New York, go to a Nathan's if you can.
Oh my god, it's so good.
It is.
Nathan's hot dogs are so.
Yeah.
Oh.
I went to the
only hot dogs I can eat.
When I went to Coney Island, I went to the first Nathan's there.
Yes.
And it's so good. And their mustard too. My sister was so obsessed with the mustard that for Christmas one year, I actually ordered I imported some of the mustard.
Can you,
the yellow mustard.
I think you just buy it, right? Can't you just buy it?
Yeah. You can just get it online, and since mustard doesn't really expire, it's not like you need Amazon grocery or whatever.
Yeah.
But awesome. Yeah, New York pretzels when you're in the city.
Oh yes.
Oh, Dev, you didn't get to go with us to.
No.
Bohemian, dude, I gotta take you to Bohemian.
I know that's when I got COVID.
Brandon, are you still on? Is Kiona Graphics still on?
I think so.
Yes. Oh, so that's New York style, Brandon. Black Rock. That's what they're talking about. Have you been to the Bohemian? It's right by Origin. It's right down the street on State Street. It is awesome, and you should go. Get the steak salad and the beer pretzel, and that you're good. And you can actually sort of split that with 2 people. It's enough food.
Oh yeah.
But
it's so good.
Oh, that's right. You did. You went with Wendy and I. I forgot about. Oh, duh. All right. I'm feeling really old right now because I can't remember a restaurant with Brandon, like one of my best friends. I think I'm done.
Chad.
No, it's not.
It'll be
Because
okay.
it just gets worse. It's not going to be okay. It just
Chad.
gets worse until you die. That's
Chad, we have a group chat, Chad, Ringo, and I. How many times do I ask, okay, what days do we stream again?
okay. All right. Okay.
You know what? So,
Well, we were
make you feel a little better.
we were supposed to do Tuesday, and then it didn't happen because of Chad came. But we talked. Didn't we talk about moving this to another day other than Friday? Didn't we say like we're going to try and do Thursday, and then we just didn't do
so.
it?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my fault because I'm throwing out numbers. But I do got to go. I got to get back on. I need to send this off to the person I did commissions before I get any further on it. I think this is a pretty solid. I think this is working right now.
Yeah, I think it looks good. Her outstretched leg looks a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was so weird at the start.
That's why it's good to move on to other parts of the drawing, because it's almost the same as like walking away from it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like if there's one part of the drawing that doesn't look right, it's like you come back to it with fresh eyes.
Yeah. I should never have told that story about the cover on this podcast, because now my friends, like all my friends, are like super self-conscious. They're like, "Is it me?"
no.
And they think it was that I was talking about them. I was not talking about them. Now they're.
Something tells me.
I know, like I'm seeing all their Kickstarters, like people I normally do covers for, and they're not asking me to do a cover. I'm like,
Oh no.
so I need to like reach out to like everyone I know, be like, hey man, like I wasn't talking about you, right? Oh yeah. But I thought I said that, like the person I did it for was not a friend, like it was just like someone I just met. Did I not say that, or did I just say? Did I lump all small publishers in together? But anywho.
Still, you always wonder.
Yeah.
What if?
Yeah. No. But see, here's the thing. I would never think, if you're thinking that, chances are it's not you, because that means if you're thinking about it, you have empathy and you're a human. This person was being a giant jagoff. They were being very intentionally like rude and mean. And if that's not in your personality, you have nothing to worry about. That's not who I was talking about. You know what I mean? Like this person wanted to do what they did because it made them feel good about themselves, right? Like they just wanted to boss around somebody. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I only act that way when we're talking about Adobe.
But see, Adobe's a giant corporation. It's okay to crap on Adobe.
We can do that.
Oh yeah.
Because
We can handle it.
and here's the thing, people might not remember this, but that's how Adobe made their bones. They were the underdog, and Quark was the giant program that everyone used, and everyone hated them because they are what Adobe is now. And Adobe came in and basically saved the graphics industry from this giant corporation that was a giant piece of bloated crap, and now that's what they've turned into. So Adobe
they
They
deserves
become
it.
what they set out to destroy.
Exactly. They
Yeah.
they lived long enough to become the villain. So
I was just gonna say that.
I stole you.
I'm always nervous about like Blender, because they've stayed free and open source for so long. It's
Yeah.
like
No.
they have
suspicious.
their morals, but it's like I just wonder, are they gonna ever get bought out?
I don't think so, because it's open source. It's like Wikipedia.
Right.
Like no one owns it. Do you know what I mean? No one owns Blender. And if someone tried to do something like that, someone else would just be like, okay, well, now we're taking the, Blender and we're moving it here, and
Yeah.
Anyway.
Calling it Fender instead.
It's nice. I get nervous about Clip Studio though, to be honest, because that is owned and not open source and all that.
No.
I have to wonder, like, okay, when is, I don't know. That's the pessimist in me, but I'm just like, when is this joyride gonna end?
Yeah. All right, let's catch up on comments and then we'll sign off. Let's see.
I'm actually gonna sign off right now because
Okay.
I'm already running late for work.
All right,
so-
we're gonna kick off Dev. Dev, you're out of here. Get out of here. Go on.
All right, bye.
Never
All
show
right.
your face again.
All right.
See you, Dev.
We'll see you, Dev.
Just abrupt bye.
And then egg food. Let's see. Hold on. Let me see. Okay, so Chad, if you end up having time before or after CD Go find Tip Top Meats. Okay. Usually we only go out to eat one night, and that's the Philippi's. I don't know if you like Philippi's or not, but it's amazing. It's like a little Italian importer, but they also have a restaurant in the back, and they are amazing. Amazing. Catch Draws also said, I missed something, and then basically this person was a bully, and we don't like to... I think that person was a bully, and they weren't used to dealing with someone that wasn't going to put up with their shit. I mean, my jaw... I'm sorry, thank you, but my jaw was on the floor dealing with this person. I'm like, who the blankety blank do you think you are? You know, I'm like... And this person was a nobody. First of all, I'm a nobody, okay? Like, people are like, oh, D-Chat are horse crap. You know, there's a million professionals out there. You have a million different options. You can't have an ego in this business. And this person is literally hawking covers at a couple of Comic-Cons and think that they're, like, on top of the market. I'm like... Anyway, no. I'm just saying. If I talk to you and I'm polite to you, you are not that person.
No, you're
this person knows who they are. They know who they are. So if you're wondering is it you, it's not you. Because the FUs did not fly, okay? So anyway. I hated Quark. Yeah, Eggfu says he hated Quark. They never improved. No, they literally thought that they were the top and that no one would ever replace them. Mecha Jared is signing off saying he has to keep going. Nice seeing you. And says, I'm going to... and then Eggfu also said that he likes Fridays. So there's a vote to keep it on Fridays. And then Catch, I'm assuming, is talking about good to know about Philippi's in San Diego. And that's it, guys. That's it. That's all we got. Was there something... Dev, we didn't ask Dev. He had a list of stuff he wanted to talk about. Did we get to the list?
I don't know.
We never even got the list. And he's gone, so I guess it doesn't matter. Do you have anything else you want to talk about before we sign off?
I just want to shout out Eggfu, who says he's going to Villaggio's tonight. Let us know what you think next time, dude. It is literally my favorite pizza place. And, yeah, I hope you like it.
You know what, Egg? I should go with you.
Do it, Chad.
Joy's out of town. I'm fending for myself.
Do it.
Last night I had cardboard pizza from the supermarket freezer. It was pretty damn depressing.
You gotta make up. Okay. Your soul is crying.
Is it David? No, Sarah. David never asked me for anything, but he's actually David makes this guy look like a sane, rational person. That's how bad this person was. So, matter of fact, I would rather go camping with David for a week than spend 1 minute on the phone with this person I'm talking about. Yeah. Anywho. Alright, that's it. You have to come up to Salt. Oh, okay. I got a dog sit, and then Joy's out of town, so I gotta be Mr. Mom. I can't do it. Anyway, we're gonna sign out, everybody. I hope you enjoy the live stream. Next week, I will... no live stream next week. I'm sorry. It's San Diego Comic-Con. I will either be...
Kind of a big deal.
Yeah. I'm trying to get stuff done for that. I'm also behind on everything. I'm 3 pages behind this week, and I'm behind on commissions, so I've got to get caught up. But after San Diego, let's plan on after San Diego for sure. So yeah, we'll be back then with the full San Diego report. Until then, we're signing off. I'm Chad Harden, and this is
Ringo.
Ringo.
Coming at you live.
All right, guys, be good. We'll see you next time.